into the high 40s. Top of the 7th inning, score tied at 1. Andres Galarraga on second, 2 outs. He had a big game for the Montreal Expos. Jason Thompson drives him in there, taking the 2-2 delivery from Gene Garber, and it's a 2-1 Expo lead. And new Braves manager Chuck Tanner is checking out his Vance Law book. Bet it doesn't say he'll single up the middle and score Jason Thompson, but that's what he did. And it's 3-1 Montreal, and the floodgates are open. And then the coup de grace. Bruce Sutter on in relief. Galarraga hits a 3-run homer to left field. He ended with 4 RBIs. He did not have a single extra base hit in all of spring training. Bruce Sutter did not have a bad spring at all. He pitched awfully well for the Braves down there, but he ended up as the GOAT as the even up things on the season. 1-1. 6-3 the final at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Meanwhile, in the Astrodome, Bob Knepper goes the distance, gives Houston the shutout over the Giants. And out on the West Coast right now, San Diego has taken a 2-0 lead over the Dodgers in the third. Carmelo Martinez with a solo home run in that one. Gary?
Someone asked Cubs manager Jim Frey before this afternoon's game in St. Louis if it was essential for his team to at least split there. Frey laughed off any game the first week of the season as being essential. But after losing 14 of 18 to the divisional champs a year ago, this one had to hurt. A beautiful sight at Busch Stadium, but not for Cubs fans. Another big house, although most second-day games have been small. Mike Heath gets hit with a pitch by Dennis Eckersley. You can see by his reaction, and the woe was not ended. The bases were now loaded, and Ozzie Smith, who batted .500 against him a year ago, bloops one in front of Bob Dernier. 2-run score. The Cardinals on top of the Cubs, 3-1. Go to the top of the 6th. Cubs threatening off Rick Owenby, who hasn't won since 1983. A smash by Moreland, picked off by a leaping Terry Pendleton. The Cub threat thwarted. Bottom of the 7th, rather. And Vince Coleman hits an easy chopper that Sean Dunston lets get by. Coleman scores on the single, rather, by Willie McGee, and the Cards have an insurmountable 4-2 lead. Gary Matthews has to get used to coming off the bench and pinch hits into a double play that ends the game. Todd Worrell gets the save for Owenby, who was once traded in a deal for Keith Hernandez. His first win in 2 years, 4-2 St. Louis. Snow is out of the play. Will welcome the Cubs to hopefully a little warmer weather on Friday when it'll be Trout against McWilliams.
Meanwhile, in the American League this afternoon, the surprising Milwaukee Brewers went back into Comiskey Park in Chicago for a third shot at the White Sox, and they were taking them. 9th inning action. Brewers on first and second. Bob James on the mound for Chicago. The damage done in that inning. Billy Joe Robideau, one of the great names in the game, singles to left center, scoring Mike Felder, and it's 5-5. 2 on, 1 out. The next hitter up, Ernest Riles, takes Bob James downtown, giving Milwaukee an 8-5 lead at this stage. And then what does James do? Well, what most pitchers do. They'll come inside. He comes in a little too much on Rob Deere, and the bench is emptied, but no punches were thrown. The Brewers win it 8-5 and sweep the first series of the season. Meanwhile, in a snowy Detroit, the Red Sox are in town. Look at this. Not dandruff, folks. Game was tied at 1 apiece. Top of the 5th inning. 2 outs, 1 run in. Bill Buckner doubles off Dan Petrie. Dwight Evans will score. It's 2-1 Boston. Then Jim Rice will hit the bloop single, scoring Wade Boggs and Buckner. And it's 4-1 Boston. Al Nipper then took charge. He went 8 2/3 innings. Here he gets Darrell Evans swinging. He gave up just 4 hits, struck out 6 as Boston goes on to a 4-2 victory. Joe Sambito got the save. Petrie the loser in that one. Meanwhile, at Texas Stadium, they have got themselves a dandy going. Toronto has taken an 11-10 lead over Texas in the bottom of the 8th inning now. Fielder, Bell, and Upshaw all with home runs in that one for Toronto. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, it was the Orioles 5-1 over Cleveland. Freddie Lynn with a 3-run shot in that one. Gary?
I know it's awful early for this sort of thing, but then again, just 2 games into the season, the Twins are the only team in the AL West without a loss. Minnesota went looking for a sweep this afternoon at Oakland. The A's hoping to get on the winning track. Only 11,000, but the weather was a little warmer in Oakland, and the fans responded. And the heat was on Moose Haas, the newest A, early. Twins load the bases in the top of the 2nd. Greg Gagne at the plate, and Haas comes through, strikes him out, ends the rally. Then in the 4th, a hitless Dave Kingman really puts the shocker on Minnesota. Lays down a bunt, and Kong beats it out. His first hit of the season comes the unusual way. Dwayne Murphy moves up to 3rd, and then Carney Lansford hits a shot that Gary Gaetti just can't handle. The A's take a 1-0 lead. That's the way it stood until the 7th, when Jose Canseco finally brought through his trademark in the 3rd game of the season. He hits this one more than 400 feet, and they go scrambling for it up the top. Canseco's first home run of the year gives the A's a 3-0 win. Jay Howell got the save and relief. On to Yankee Stadium, where Lou Piniella, looking for his second win against the Cy Young winner, Brett Saberhagen, who had a 5-0 lead and a no-hitter until Mike Pagliarulo ended it all with this 2-run homer with Ken Griffey on board. It's 5-2, still KC in front. Then Dave Winfield will hit this deep shot to center. Willie Randolph will score easily. And then with 2 outs in the 9th, Don Mattingly comes through with another clutch hit, scores Henry Cotto. It's tied at 5 to go to the 10th. Double steal, failed squeeze, and squeezed out as Frank White. The Royals can't get home the lead run in the 10th. Turnabout fair play. Dale Berra pinch hitting, lays down a beautiful squeeze in front of Alan Hargesheimer. Newest Yank Mike Easler scores, and the Yanks pull it out 6-5. Dave Righetti puts a win along with his earlier save this week. Seattle and California, they scored combined for 26 runs in their first 2 games so far at Seattle. 4-0. Gorman Thomas has hit his second home run of the season.
Some great action today.